All right, we're going to step back in time for this one. But I don't want you to just listen to this as a history lesson. For the next few minutes, I want you to try and live it. Because this is the empire's dark secret. So I want you to picture this. You're 12 years old, the year is 1550, and you're in this small Bulgarian village. The morning mist is still clinging to the valley as you're out helping your father with the sheep. The air's cool, it's familiar, it smells like damp earth, pine trees, and the smoke coming from your neighbor's cooking fire. The little bells jingling around the sheep's necks, the taste of the warm bread and goat's milk your mother gives you, this is your entire world. It's simple, it's safe, it is literally everything you have ever known. And then, suddenly, that gentle melody just shatters. You hear the thundering of hooves in the distance, getting closer. Your father's face goes completely pale. Your mother drops a clay pitcher, and you hear it smash on the floor. Everybody knows what this sound means. The Sultan's collectors are here, and your world is about to break apart right along with that pitcher. A finger points at you. You've been selected. Your mother's sobs are the last thing you hear as you're pulled away from her. This whole system, it's called the Devshirme, the child levy. But really what it was a blood tax. It was imposed on the Christian subjects of the Ottoman Empire. And the logic behind it, from the Ottoman perspective, was to create this elite class of soldiers and administrators who were loyal only to the Sultan, with no family ties to ever challenge his authority. They tell your parents it's an honor, but all you feel is the absolute terror of having your childhood stolen right out from under you. That journey to Istanbul, man, that is your first brutal lesson in this new world. It's weeks and weeks of marching. The food is barely enough to keep you going. And the weak? They're just left behind to die. You learn real quick that resistance is pointless when you see another boy who tried to run get beaten, as a lesson to the rest of you. So before you've even seen the great city, you've already learned the most important rule of all. Weakness is death. And then you see it. Istanbul, with these magnificent minarets, reaching up into the sky. It should be breathtaking. But for you, it's not a city of wonders. It's the skyline of your new prison. A beautiful, gilded cage. As soon as you arrive, you're put through this incredibly humiliating inspection. Officials look you over like you're an animal at a market. They check your teeth, your skin, your height. They make you recite letters and numbers to test your intelligence. They even judge you on your physical features. The strongest, the smartest, and the most beautiful boys, they're selected for a very special destination, the palace itself. You're chosen. You're sent to the Enderun School, which is right inside the famous top-copy palace. Now, on paper, it's touted as the world's first school for the gifted. And it's true, you'll learn languages, mathematics, law, but you're also going to learn a much, much darker curriculum, one that's built on a calculated system of dehumanization. The first thing they do is just erase you. Your old name is gone. They give you a new one, Mehmet. They force you to convert to Islam in this big, grand ceremony that just feels hollow, like a lie. And that little wooden cross your mother pressed into your hand as you were taken away, they find it, they confiscate it, and just like that, your very last link to your old life is gone. So inside these palace walls, the education is a total paradox. On the one hand, you're getting this world-class academic training, but on the other, there's this hidden curriculum of exploitation and abuse, and it's all designed to break you down completely so they can rebuild you into a perfect tool for the empire. And then one night, it happens. An older student, a boy named Amit, comes and sits on your bed. He offers you his protection, a way to get better food, to get ahead, in exchange for, your gratitude. Special ways to show it, he calls them. And you're faced with this impossible choice. You refuse and you face punishment and isolation, or you accept and you surrender the last little piece of yourself that you have left. There is no good answer here. There's only survival. And you have to understand, this wasn't just a few bad apples. The abuse was systemic. It was built into the power structure. You had the eunuchs, who held authority over the boys. You had older students, who were just perpetuating the same cycle of abuse they went through. And you had powerful palace officials, who saw you as nothing more than their property. The threat was literally everywhere. And look, this isn't just speculation. We know this was happening. Visitors from Europe, they saw glimpses of this hidden world. There's this one account from a 17th century French diplomat who wrote about, quote, the fear that flickers in the boys' eyes when their masters approach. I mean, those words are just a chilling confirmation of what was really going on behind those palace walls. Surviving this system, it came at a terrible cost. It wasn't just physically brutal. It was specifically engineered to inflict profound psychological damage. It was designed to shatter a boy's spirit and then reshape it into something the empire could use. You see the two paths this can take. You watch boys like Dmitri who learn to play the game. They become predators themselves to survive. You see the light just go out in his eyes, but he makes it. And then you see boys like Stefanos who try to resist, who try to hold on to who they were. And he just fades. He becomes a ghost. And then one morning you wake up and his bed is empty. No one ever says his name again. It's like he never even existed. So what about escape? Rebellion? Yeah, that was a complete fantasy. You saw what happened to those who tried. One boy was caught trying to swim for it. They dragged him back, and in front of everyone, they beat him so brutally that he was just broken. Permanently. A living, breathing warning to everyone else that submission was the only way forward. So how does a system like this get remembered? I mean, how does history account for victims like these? Well, the simple, sad answer is, it often doesn't. They just become silent ghosts. The official story, the one written by the court historians at the time, framed it as a crucible of discipline. They celebrated it, saying it produced the most loyal and brilliant servants of the empire. This kind of rhetoric, this talk of transformation and merit, it completely papered over the horrific reality of the abuse. It was a perfect piece of imperial propaganda. It's strange, because if you visit the Topkapi Palace in Istanbul today, you'll see crowds of tourists just admiring the beautiful art and the incredible architecture. And the tour guides, they'll talk about educational innovations. But those stunning marble corridors, they hold a very dark secret. The suffering of thousands of boys like you is a silent, invisible part of that museum's collection. Your story, the story of that boy from the small Bulgarian village, it ended centuries ago. But it leaves us with one final, pretty haunting question. Behind the grandeur and the glory of every great empire in history, how many other stories like yours remain untold? How many other ghosts are still walking those halls?